This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're delighted to be joined once again with the main man, James McGivern. How are you, mate?
I'm just finished training. Feeling good, feeling fit, strong. Everything's going well.
I think you're a bit devastated today because I promised you a coffee and I've obviously picked up COVID in the last few days.
No, it means I get to sit in my house now rather than have to walk about town and meet you somewhere. It's even better. Zoom calls are where it's at. Zoom calls are the way forward.
The only downside is they only give us 40 minutes, but I don't think we'll be speaking for 40 minutes today. People will be glad to know.
Well, you can probably get 40 minutes to talk out of me, to be fair, if you tried.
But obviously, I think the last time we spoke to you was before your last fight, obviously, in the Ulster Hall in November. You obviously, another points won. We're obviously going to lead on to obviously what's happening next, but I would probably say, is it probably fair to say so far that you probably nearly haven't really had to get out of first or second gear? It's been more about sort of learning the ropes of boxing.
Yes.
Pro boxing.
Yes.
Sorry, pro boxing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's one of them things when you have a guy standing in front of you that doesn't want to get hurt. You're punching a punch bag, aren't you? Really. The thing about the last fight was I got clipped a couple of times, which was good because one of the questions I had coming into this was, is 8-inch gloves that different? Can I take a punch? And I got clipped a few times. So that was a box ticked that I took from that fight. But yeah, I haven't, there's no really about it. I haven't showed my boxing skills yet. It's going to take, and hopefully this fight coming, it'll take me to go up into them top gears that I have to go into to then really show how good of a boxer I actually am.
I know when obviously initially signed over, Jamie was obviously saying you're probably one of the best signings that he's obviously had. You know, it had that much high hopes for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're coming up now 2 years as a pro. And probably when you look back on it, probably I guess with COVID and everything else, you probably haven't got out as much as you'd wanted. You know.
No, nowhere near. No, I would like to have 10 fights, and I've got 4. But listen, that's no one's fault. It's the way of the world. It's just, you have to just take it as it comes. There hasn't been months where a fight's been offered that I've said no. I was that Josh Taylor card with Jack Catterall. Jamie phoned me on the Tuesday and it was happening on the Saturday and asked me, did I want to fight? And I said, of course. It fell through. Obviously, they couldn't get me an opponent, but it's the kind of person I am. If you phone me on Friday and say you want to fight on Saturday, I'll be in there.
It's like anything nowadays, I guess. You know, no fights since November. Obviously, I guess, you know, you're back to your sort of day job, so to speak, as well. And, you know, it's sort of frustrating, I guess, for probably anybody. It's sort of not getting a fight. But I guess, obviously, now, next month, gets you that chance to sort of springboard yourself up a bit, sort of get more people talking of who you are.
That's what this game's about. There's no point in hanging about too long, padding your record out. And yes, you have to learn your trade. But the longer you hang about there, the more you get stuck there and then nothing really moves. I want to get myself going and I can go back to full-time training and just be a boxer. I don't want to be a plumber all my life. I don't mind going and being a boxer. I've took this week off and the next 6 weeks off to train and to fight. That's the way I want my life to be from here on in, hopefully.
I guess sometimes it's just sort of, it's impressing someone in the right way that you get a big promoter, you know, on hand. You know, the likes of the Eddie Hearns probably don't come up as often now as they probably once did, but it's making an impression on someone that they go, we must have this guy.
Well, this is it. And again, you need a good dance partner to do that, to show off. I think that's what we're all trying to do here. We're all trying to show off to these big guys and go, look at me and how good I am and what I can do. So it takes 2 to tango to do that. So I'm hoping this fight, that'll be the fight that I can sort of go, right, look, this is what I can do and this is what I have been doing for all these years.
And obviously on the fight, Tony McGlynn, what do you know of him?
Not a whole lot. Nearly nothing. Again, I done it the other day. I don't think we ever crossed paths as amateurs. I don't think I've ever spoke to him. I could be wrong. Maybe I have bumped into him. I just don't remember. We never fought. Again, he was a bit heavier than me the whole way through. But not a whole lot. I know he's down with Pete Taylor and stuff like that. So he'll be getting fantastic sparring with Big McComb and Gary Cully and stuff. But other than that, not a whole pile.
Is it sort of, I guess sometimes where it's sort of when you're friendly with Sean and throwing everything else like that, it's sort of probably maybe easy sometimes to go, what's this guy like? You know, what should I be looking out for?
No,
on the other
funny.
on the other hand, there.
I text him the other day and says, "Are you fighting this field or what?" And he says, yes." And then he says, "You've got a good fight." And then I only tippled, and I went, "Jesus, you're in the same gym." But no, you don't do that. You don't go and ask gym teammates and stablemates questions about, because then that there's blurred lines there. And I don't want to put that would include Dick, Gary, and Sean and Tyrone, all as my friends. So you put a bit of a sticky situation there. Start asking questions like that, and ended up bargain. It's not that dramatic. Like, we're two boxers and we're going to box. It's our job. Like,
I guess sometimes I think the more you know in someone, probably you'd under prepare and stuff as well. You know,
I've always said no news is good news. I don't really like. I never have done doing this thing. You look into the opponents, and because then you can get into this. This is my game plan. I'm going to stick to my game plan, and it might not work. And then you go, shit, what am I going to do now? I like to just go in, focus on me. The only important person in my training camp is me, and not who I'm fighting. Go in, and if I perform, there's not too many people are going to beat me.
The fight, I think, scheduled, is it going to be lightweight, 6 rounds?
135, 8 rounds. I think it's 8. I asked the question the other day. I'm nearly sure it's 8. It could be 6. If it's 6, happy days, because I've been training for 8. But I think it's 8.
And I guess sometimes I know that you've obviously been BIA. We obviously steered. I'm obviously losing I'm obviously losing concept of spell and everything at the moment. But obviously before you've sort of been able to test sort of, you know, the weight cut and things like that. Obviously this time you're probably going to get it into full circulation.
Not as bad. I am campaigning at super featherweight. I asked for a fight at super featherweight. I don't know why they couldn't get anybody for there. Tony must have been the only person who said yes. So if that's the fight, then I'll have to, if the weight they agreed is whatever it is, then that's the weight I'll fight at. But super featherweight is what I want to campaign at. Making 61 or whatever it is handier for me. There'll be no stressing for me making weight.
And obviously, you know, when you probably looked at Tony McGlynn's obviously sort of record and what you can find and sort of box rec, and obviously he sort of fought the journeyman sort of level that you would have fought as well. You know, he's a good nickname, Golden Balls. You know, probably one.
You know what? Funny enough, I seen his nickname the other day, and it made me laugh because my mother, God rest her, everyone in this house, I'm the middle child, so there's younger Jack and older Emma, and I'm the middle child, and everyone would just talk about middle child syndrome, and they all used to call me Golden Balls. My ma always used to call me Golden Balls, and I laugh whenever I seen his name.
It's one of them that sort of you'd want yourself nearly as well. You know, he's probably got one of them standout nicknames. You know,
I think nickname. My nickname's the best of all of them, the natural. That's the best of all of them.
It definitely is. And sort of when you look at this fight, like all your fights so far have been 6 rounders. Probably maybe the only bad thing sort of in this fight is there's going to be no belt on the line.
Well, don't hold your breath. I have I said whenever I got offered the fella, I asked for the fella, and then the question was, do you want to fight a handy 6 rounder, or do you want to fight, there's a potential Irish clash? And I went, well, the all Irish one then, but let's make it for an Irish title. Mm-hmm. And that was the idea. And then they said maybe not the Irish title, but possibly the Celtic title. I'm laughing now because I see everybody fighting for a Celtic title. It feels like I've asked for it, and now everybody's doing it. But I think it's been put to the BUI. There's questions over whether, I think Tony's only ever fought 4 rounds, so he hasn't done 6, so maybe they might not let him do 8, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I've asked to fight for the BUI, the Celtic title.
I think as long as one party has fought 6 rounds, they'll grant it, obviously, and the basis that the opponent's good enough, and Tony's unbeaten as well, so there should be no reason why they should turn it down.
Also, hopefully in a couple of weeks or however long it takes for it's announced that we're fighting for a belt, hopefully.
That'll be another exclusive knocked off the list for myself then.
Well, no. Who did I tell the other day? I told someone the other day about this. Funny enough. You're second.
Second on the list. Nobody remembers second place. Obviously, I want to touch on obviously another obviously athlete and Colin Murphy. Obviously, you know, he seems to be probably excelling, obviously, as a pro so far. He's obviously going to be fighting the same card as he as well. He's going to get to fight in the same card. Stuart's obviously going to be a busy boy that week. Yeah,
of course. Murph was a stablemate of mine Murph was in our club for years. And still, even to the day, credit to him, he'll call down to the club all the time. And the kid's training mad. Like, that kid would train from he wakes till he goes to bed. And he would come down to the club and do a session the odd time. And you get a good chat to him. So I'm glad the kid's fought in them small hall shows and worked his way up, and he deserves it.
And I guess, obviously, it's a good Belfast derby as well. I know sort of some people are are underlooking, obviously, really far up at the end of the day. It's two young lads, and probably nerves is probably going to kick into it as well. Obviously, both probably wouldn't expect it this early on to be fighting it in the SSE in a sold-out venue, and now they're going.
But this is what we're here for. There's no, realistically, we're not here to fight in leisure centres or hotel thing. You all want to fight in stadiums, don't we? Or arenas, or whatever you want to call it. So it's good that he's getting that chat for play to Mark and all for organising the form. And I'm Team Murph. I'm backing the kid doing it.
And obviously looking at your fight with Tony McGlynn, then, you know, what sort of way do you sort of, I guess, when you don't know too much of a fighter, is sort of, it's probably nearly it's preparing for everything and sort of getting in there and sort of seeing what he's like then in person?
I'm not necessarily preparing for anything, if that makes sense. I'm just preparing myself. I'm not preparing for anybody. I'm just preparing me for a fight. It could be Tony, it could be Floyd Mayweather, it could be Mike Tyson. I'm just focusing on me and what I do. And then when we get to the ring and the fight starts, then you can sort of go, right, well, this is what I think is going to happen. You know, you can analyse tape and do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter until you get into the ring. And that's whenever you'll know what the crack is.
I guess sometimes that's the best way. Sometimes to look at it, you know, prepare for every eventuality and just make sure you focus first and foremost on yourself. Because, you know, I'm sure you'll believe, like probably Tony will believe, if you fight at 100%, there's no other outcome.
This is it.
Obviously fighting on a Conlan card again as well. I guess, you know, everybody's probably going to be intrigued, and obviously how Mick returns. Obviously, you know, after narrowly losing, obviously the Leewood, obviously in Nottingham, you know, I think probably more than anything, probably a lot of people are giving Mick a bit more respect, because he, you know, he probably shown things in a fight that probably never, you know, they hadn't seen before in the ring, but due to opponents. But you're obviously getting to share another card with it again. I'm sure you can't wait to it.
Yeah, 100%. And he always brings a massive crowd. There's always, it'll be all eyes on it come the 6th of August. It's always, and I'm quite friendly with the Conlans. Obviously, John coached me for years, and then Jamie was looking after me as a pro. But yeah, it's always good to be in the round. That's a great circle. You look at some of the names now that are starting to come onto this card. So there's McCannis just got announced, and McCrory's on it. My old mate Fergus is on it. So all these names that are in about it, like you're in amongst a good group.
Definitely, probably nearly Friday to get back in the amateur setup again with everybody all coming together.
It does, and then Kurt and Kieran. Sure, Kurt and Kieran maybe on the same team for donkeys. I was actually talking to Kieran the other day. He's a good mate of mine, and his dad. I'm excited to see his dad again. Haven't seen him in ages, so it's good. We're all sort of coming through again in the same sort of group.
And obviously in terms of managerial, obviously wise now that where does obviously where does things lay for you there?
Do you not tell me the truth? Do you already know, or do you not know?
I don't know anything, so hopefully I'm not obviously trying to find an exclusive sort of there. But
so Jason Quigley is my manager now officially, and I am signed with SB Sports. So the same crowd as Brad and the two McKennas, and then obviously who Jason was with too. But
I wasn't even aware of that. So it's
no. But I says the thing the other day. He was at the end of the Monday, and he said I sort of heard about it. I thought, right, people are talking, but no, that'll be all coming out very soon, I would say too. So that'll be public knowledge shortly. But no, I'm excited for this too. I said the other day as well, I've already had 2 debuts essentially, because I had the one behind closed doors and then the one with the crowd. This feels almost like a 3rd debut now, because NTK folded and my head was up arch. I was going, what am I going to do here? And then I got in touch with Brett and asked him about SB Sports. He put me on to Jason. Me and Jason met, and then from that first meeting I went, right, here we go, this is it. We're back again. So it feels like I'm having a 3rd debut now, that I'm going to get a good run, hopefully. And I believe I will with SB Sports, and I'll get a good run of fights. And
obviously, is that the potential sort of looking at maybe into the American sort of market and getting fights in America?
Yeah, we've spoke about it. We spoke the other day about obviously not looking past Sheila, but we've spoke what we're going to do next and what the idea is. I says I would like to have 3 fights this year. I know we're halfway through the year already, but I would like to be fighting at least 6 times a year. So half of 6 is 3, isn't it? My maths is correct. So I would like to get this and maybe 2 more.
And obviously a busy end of the year to you as well. Obviously I put up obviously for questions today, and obviously I don't want to keep you on too long, because obviously I know you just finished training and probably need to eat and everything else. But obviously not naming anybody's names sort of, but there was a question obviously asked saying, do you expect a 1-by knockout on the 6th of August?
It's certainly possible. I haven't really got to show my punching power because, again, you're hitting people with their hands up who are running away. Tony's going to come and fight, so there'll be openings there, of course. Again, I don't know what way he boxes, so I can't say yes, no, maybe. Maybe I'll say maybe, I suppose, to keep it neutral. But if the opportunity presents itself, I've got plenty of punching power that I can certainly knock people out. So if it presents itself, of course, I'm going to shoot for it. But again, I don't know what way Tony boxes, so I'll stay on the fence with maybe.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be your last fight at lightweight now. Obviously, 5 fights.
This is it. I want to get down. I can make 59 dead easy. Well, not dead easy. It's not pretty, but I can make it. I'm comfortable. I probably could go lower, but I don't think I will. I'll just stay at 59, maybe build myself up a bit more and stay where I am. But I would like to get, because I want to get ranked at 59 and I want to get my career going at super featherweight, where I can start climbing rankings and stuff like that. At the minute, I'm in limbo, where some of my fights are at super lightweight, some of them are lightweight. I haven't actually had a fight at super featherweight yet. I know obviously you're not going to make championship weight all the time, but I would like to get down and make championship weight and fight at it, just so I can go, right, that's where my campaign's going to be.
Does it sort of help in some ways the fact that, when you sort of look to the future, and obviously I know you have aspirations to be a world champion and stuff like that as well, but obviously once you did it one weight class, you can move back up again. Obviously, if you're able to move down, you can move up.
I could probably go as far up as super lightweight. I would say I was like 63-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 63 as an amateur. I had to. I didn't want to, but I had to for European Games and the Olympics and stuff like that. So I can go up there and compete. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did at 60 or 59 or whatever. But come the future, if I was to wrap up the super featherweight division, which is all very much in the future, of course. But if it was to happen, and if I get offered up the weights, then I would be comfortable enough.
It's always good. What it classifies nearly as if you're ambidextrous. Obviously, you can go up through the weight classes.
I could bounce between lightweight and super featherweight probably.
Just not go as far as welterweight. You may have to start eating a bit more then.
Well, no, I could probably get up as far as middleweight if I wanted to. I just wouldn't look very well.
But James, obviously, thank you once again for coming on and having a chat with us. Obviously, hopefully the next time we're chatting, obviously I'm rid of COVID, and I'm sure you'd be torturing me for that free coffee.
This is it. Well, you could have still delivered or something like that. Delivery is a thing, isn't it? Delivering
I shouldn't have mentioned there again. I'll be getting a message afterwards saying, "Here's my address. Send me a coffee up."
Well, they'll just sign you a sorting account code and you fire a few quid over, and I'll go and buy it myself. Sure.
You're going to the Hilton for a coffee?
It'll be there. I'll be down to Grand Central, £10 a coffee.
Well, listen, it was great obviously catching up with you again. Obviously, I know it's 5 weeks out from 5 weeks today for the weigh-in. 5 weeks today from the weigh-in, but I'm sure obviously we'll catch up with you obviously in fight week. But obviously thanks for your time, and I say we'll speak to you soon.
Good man.
Cheers, Jimmy. Take care.
Yeah,
thanks. Bye bye.